Hi there, this is Linda and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be unboxing the February 2026 collection from Cocoa Daisy called Inklings and putting together a project. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Oh my gosh, you guys, Cocoa Daisy is completely knocking it out of the park for 2026 kits. If you saw my video unboxing the January collection, you know I said that was my favorite collection ever from Cocoa Daisy, and then they came out with this one. And I have to be honest, with Cocoa Daisy, some of their kits are complete hits for me, some are misses, and a lot are in the middle. And usually the January kits are some of my favorites, so I wasn't surprised when the January kit for 2026 was my absolute favorite. But then this kit, so normally I don't like the February kits. Honestly, they're usually my least favorite. I think because there's a lot of pinks and florals, which tend to not be my style. They're not horrible kits, of course. Like, it's still a great company and I love representing them because I love their products. But February tends to be my least favorite kit of the year. That said, this is maybe their best kit of all time. Like, this kit is just so on point and I love it so much. So this kit is called Inklings. And as you can kind of tell from this, and if you've seen some of the other images online, this is a stationery and crafting theme kit, which is completely up my alley. So I'm super, super excited to play with this one. So before we get into the actual unboxing, I'm just going to go through really quickly what I get from Cocoa Daisy. If you're new to Cocoa Daisy or you're not sure what kits you want to pick up, I think that this can be a little bit helpful. So if you are not super familiar with my channel and the projects that I do, I scrapbook, I journal, I plan, and I do just a big mix of various projects. I just love all things paper and crafty. So of course, this kit is completely up my alley. So I get the Classic Cousin Sticker Kit, which is a flat sticker set kit. So we'll go through that one. I also get the scrapbooking kit with the pocket card add-on because I am a project lifer and a scrapbooker, and this kit is perfect for that. I get the washi tape trio, which is just an extra washi tape because I love washi tape. And then I get the stationery kit, which is a good mix for journaling, planning, scrapbooking. Really, it's great for all of the projects. And then you always get just a kind of a thank you sticker and the card for the kit that has Christine's little message about the kit itself. So I'm going to put these here in my tray. Before I get into kind of unboxing, I keep my kits in these plastic trays, and if these are currently available on Amazon, I will link them in the description box below. I get these through Amazon usually. Sometimes I can find them in other stores. They are called iDesign trays, and they are designed for use in the refrigerator, I think, but they are perfect for organizing projects, and I keep them inside my Calyx shelves, and I have shelves where, so you can either stack them or you can put them in shelves, and I have 9 of these trays for the current kits that I've been working with or the last few months, and that way I can easily pull them out, work with a kit, put it away, and work with something else. And then when I'm done with the kit, I will rotate it out. So I'm gonna go ahead as I open these and I'm gonna put the pieces into this tray. So let's start with the Classic Cousin Sticker Kit. As I said, these are completely flat stickers, and as the name implies, they are designed for the Hobonichi cousin. However, they are useful in really most journals and planners. They really work well in an A5 size. I am not going to be in a Hobonichi cousin in 2026, but I still am going to continue getting this kit because I think it's a great one for use in journaling spreads. I love so much about this kit. I love the colors. I love the ink blotches. I love the swatch icon, the jar of markers, the ink bottles. It's just so cute. Then you get another one that has some additional, these rectangular boxes are really great for on the weekly spreads in the Hobonichi cousin. Let me pull mine over and show you kind of blank spread. So these work really well if you are using the Hobonichi Cousin and you do the weeklies and you don't really like the look of this, you can cover it up with that. You can also use them in the daily columns, but you can use them in so many different ways, not just on the weekly spreads. They work well in daily pages. I've used them in scrapbook layouts, in Project Life, and there's all these label stickers, which are also great for all sorts of things. There's always a planning sheet that looks like this, and honestly, I don't use a ton of these ones. I do like the bullet point list ones or the Monday through Sunday, which could be good for meal planning. Then there is a sticker sheet with word phrase strips, and I'm gonna try really hard not to hoard this because, oh my gosh, you guys, this is just so cute. I love everything about this. It is just amazing. Then there's always some weekly titles, which are great for, I use these a lot in my Take a Note, but you can use them in Project Life. There's some headers, which I also use in my Take a Note, which is my functional planner, and some planner stickers. There's always an alpha and a number and some washi like strips, but these are actual regular stickers. And then there is one sheet of washi stickers, which has some strips and some additional icons and decor. So those are so cute. Super excited to use those this month. Okay, let's do the stationery kit next. Okay, so the stationery kit, like I said, is good for a variety of things. It comes with a vellum sheet and a transparency, and this transparency, you guys, this is just so incredibly beautiful. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it. I wanna hoard it, but I'm gonna find a use for it because it's just amazing. Same with the vellum. They're just both so beautiful. Then we have a clear sticker sheet. Again, I am just floored by how cute all these icons are. The little bag, oh, the journals. It's just, I can't wait to use these. I think this is, no, it goes this way. I can't wait to use these in my journal. The little clip, you guys, that's clearly the Travelers Company clip. So cute. And we have a 4x6 card. These are always a postcard, but you can put this in a pocket page. And then we've got some sticker sheets, some smaller ones. We've got some days of the week, headers. I like these little calendar ones. And then some additional icons. We've got the more watercolor look and then some more bold outlined ones, both amazing. This is a nice little patch, which is super cute if you have a lot of Cocoa Daisy to put on your Cocoa Daisy on a pouch or something to store your products, or on a journal cover. So this kit always comes with a pad of notes and of sticky notes. And this one is just a super simple daily notes. This is just great for, you can use this in Project Life. You could use these in your journal. There's just a ton of ways to use sticky notes. There's, oh, well, let's get to these first. We've got these huge clips. So cute. A little pin. Actually, I'm gonna get a tray. Okay, so I'm gonna use a tray to just corral some of these little pieces. And then there's some die cuts. So the die cuts from Cocoa Daisy are stickers, and the ones in this kit are vellum. And let's just look through. So we've got some clips, we've got some little ink swatches, coffee, stapler, pens, our ink swatch, journal. So this kit, it's just gonna be so hard for me not to hoard these things. The little camera. They're just so beautiful. I love this kit so much. Another camera, so cute. Okay, then there's a washi tape. I'm going to go ahead and swatch the washi tapes in my journal on today's spread. So here's today. I haven't journaled yet today, but I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch these out. So it looks like this one is a repetition of just 3 pens, which is good because they're pretty long, but there's some kind of stylized fountain pens. I do have quite a few washi tapes that are similar to this one, but this one, I think they're bigger and more realistic drawings than other ones I have, and I use these types of washi tape all the time, so I'm super excited about that one. Now let's do the washi trio. Okay, so the washi trio gives you 3 washi tapes that coordinate with the collection. Sometimes they overlap with the ones I get in the other kits. I'm not sure if you get like everything, if it would just be duplicates, or if there's ever washi tapes that are specific to the washi trio. I should ask that question so I can answer that question. But occasionally I do get a duplicate of one that comes in one of my other kits, but the ones that are in the washi trio are usually like the best ones from the collection. So whenever that happens, it's always one that I absolutely love and am excited to have 2 of. So the first one, we've got this like paint splatter one. That's just a very colorful, fun border. Then we have this one, which is ink bottles, which goes really well with the fountain pen one. That was in the stationery kit. Super cute. And then we have this one, which this one I think is going to be my favorite. It is just like this watercolored image of all of these crafty things on a desk. It's just so beautiful. Look at, like, that's just, I'm just in awe of how pretty this kit is. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side while I open up this kit. So I'm actually gonna push this over and put these ones out on my desk because I'm gonna put a project together on this video using the scrapbook kit. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So Cocoa Daisy changed the way they do their scrapbook kit. I think it was in 2025, but it might have been longer ago. And what they do now is you get the scrapbook kit and then you pick your add-on. So I do the pocket card add-on because I do pocket pages. If you scrapbook and you don't do pocket pages, you can get this kit with 12 by 12 papers. You can get it with a traveler's notebook, or you can just get the kit itself without a base, and then it's a little bit of a cheaper price point. So regardless of which version you pick, you do get 6 by 8 papers, and you always get 2 white papers, which is a nice just basic to have. And then you have 2 of each pattern paper, and they're double-sided. Then we have some rub-ons, which is just, again, these are just gorgeous. There's a chipboard set. I like to use these in my project life or my other scrapbook layouts. A stamp set. Enamel dots are included in a lot of the kits. Not every single one, but they are pretty frequently included. We've got some little tags. This is new this month. It's got a sticker booklet. So this is not something I've seen before, but there's always some sort of alpha. And flipping through here, the majority of sticker booklet are these big alphas. And these look like they're kind of a vellum sticker. And then the first 2 or 3, the first 4 pages are some just word phrase strips that you can put with the alphas or separately. So there's like currently, just, they're super cute. Okay, let's get a tray. There's 2 sets of die cuts this month. So this one looks like a bunch of kind of like ledger labels and things. These are just so nice for in scrapbooking. I like to use these on Project Life a lot to add a little bit of detail to my photos, but they're good and just a nice basic. And then there's these 2 that are like folders with the number 1 on it. I'm not sure what the 1 is for, but they're pretty cute. I'm not gonna put them in here because they're a little bit bigger. again, these ones are stickers, just like in the stationery kit, but these ones are not vellum, they are cardstock. Again, with the journal icons, a coffee, envelope, more swatches or the ink swatches, the little traveler's notebooks. So beautiful. Okay, and then we have a washi tape. This one is paint swatches. So pretty. And then we have the pocket cards. That is just a gorgeous kit. I'm so excited to play with this kit. I'm just gonna move these out of the way. Before I start my project though, I am going to swatch my washies in my swatchy book, or my washi swatch book. I guess that is a tongue twister. So I have shared about this on Instagram and within a few YouTube videos, but essentially what I do is I swatch all of my new washi tape in here. And so what I do for Cocoa Daisy is I'm gonna write Cocoa Daisy, the month it is, and the name of the kit. And then I swatch all of my washi tapes in here so I know everything that's in my collection and where it came from. Okay, so now I'm gonna go onto my computer and print out some photos to work on a project, and I'll pop back on here when I'm ready to put that one together. Okay, so I actually took a little break from working on this. I had to do life stuff. And so I'm back to put together this project for the month of February 2022. So I went through my same process that I have done when working on my daughter's album in the past, where I look through my project life album from the month and kind of pull out stories from it that included my daughter. And then I go through all of my photos on my computer and print out photos that include her or have something to do with her. She happens to be in every single photo this time. So that generally gives me kind of an overview of what stories I want to include. I always want to do a title card. There's usually a 4x6 card that has the month on it, and there's one this time, so I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to fill in some 3x4 cards. I need something for some stories. So for this month, let's see, we took a day trip to Syracuse to go to a basketball game, and we brought Summer's boyfriend at the time. I did just put this one photo with him because he is now her ex-boyfriend, as you know, high school relationships go. So you know, there wasn't anything like negative, but I do want to include that, but I didn't want to like highlight them because I know she wouldn't be like, ew, I want this. She doesn't really want him in her album as much. So it's kind of a balance of the story versus, you know, what parts she'd want to look back on. So she was practicing driving a lot. She got her permit in January. So here's her practicing driving. Her cousins visited, so there's a picture with them. We started doing college tours with our local university, which actually ended up being where she went. But at the time, she was so opposed to going there, so she wasn't super thrilled with it. And then here's her just baking cookies. She had winter break. She got some new glasses. I didn't get a good picture of her wearing them. I guess she's wearing them here. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for stories. So now I just need to go through the cards from the kit and see what I want to put here. Okay, so I was trying to go through these and pick one to be my journaling. And the problem is this kit is very crafty focused, and she's not very crafty, or wasn't at this time. Now, I definitely could still use one of the cards, like this one with pens would still really work, but I also really love these, and I kind of want to hoard them for stories about crafting because I craft. You know, this one is pretty cute. Trying to think if I want to use one of those, or I can make my own journaling card from the pattern papers. I also kind of liked this one. And then I was thinking this one, because it is February, just to put a little heart here. And this one I was thinking I could cut this out to embellish the driving, or even honestly that. Let's see, what else do we have here? So there's this pattern paper with the tags, which I do really like this. Maybe I want to just use pattern paper on this one because I love this paper. And I can use one of these to create a journaling tag here and also make like a filler card and put my journaling on top of that. So I think maybe that's what I'm going to do, because I love this paper. It's so pretty. And then I just need to do some embellishing. So I have all of these little die cut pieces, which I could use one of these like tags too for my journaling on here. This one is pretty cute. Thinking maybe of adding something on this title card because the title card is so black and white. I could add a little bit on here. Could add a little tag. I don't know, there's a lot of options. So I also put this card aside because I also really love that one, but I think I want to use this pattern paper because I feel like it's a good, I don't know, I just like it a lot. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put you guys on voiceover and get this one put together. Okay, so I decided to start by creating my journaling card. I love this floral paper in this kit, and I decided to use this to create the base for my journaling card, and you're going to see how I'm going to create space to journal on it in a little bit. But for now, I just wanted to crop it down so that I could have it laid out on my page and get a feel for what this spread is going to look like. For this journaling card here that says Trust the Process, I'm just cropping it out and making it into an embellishment. This is something I like to do with Project Life cards pretty frequently because they are often super cute and have really great designs on them, but I don't necessarily want a full filler card. So this way you can use more of your cards and get the designs into your spread without having to put an entire pocket towards a filler card. So this photo was of her driving, so I thought the Trust the Process sentiment was perfect. So I just cropped each word out separately, and I'm just going to adhere them down right on top of my photo as the embellishment for this one. You saw I considered putting some of the washi tape underneath it, but I decided against that. I thought that it was busy enough with the big bold words because they do kind of go over the steering wheel, and I thought that that would be fine as is. For these two cards, I adhered them together using some washi tape from my stash, just some old washi that I don't like. So I have some rolls that are just kind of plain extra ones that aren't my favorites. And those are what I use for those hidden places where I'm going to put washi tape, but you could just use washi from the kit if you don't have any other. I decided to move on to this card, but I'm not done with that other 4x6 pocket. This was about our college tour, and I have the benefit of hindsight here. So this was in February of 2022, and now in December of 2025, I know that this college that we toured is where my daughter actually ended up going. And at the time, she was dead set that she wasn't going to go there because she didn't want to stay local, but she got kind of cold feet towards the middle of her junior year, and I guess this was her junior year, but I guess towards the end of her junior year, or maybe in the summer, at some point she decided she didn't actually want to go far and she wanted to stay local. And this was really the best local option. And so we actually ended up touring it again in, I want to say, late 2022. And so I will have that story come up probably in these recaps for 2022, maybe in 2023. I don't remember when it was, but it was kind of fun to write the journaling and reflect on what it was like at that point in time, even though just because I know more information now. So sometimes it's fun to be able to do your scrapbooking so far behind so that you can add those reflections into your journaling. So moving on to the title card, I use some alpha stamps that I have in my stash to add the date. I've been doing that for the past 2 years of these recap pages, and it just kind of creates a little bit of uniformity across my album. And I decided that this card was beautiful with just the big word February on it, but I wanted to add a little bit of color because this kit is so bright and colorful, and this card seemed just not that colorful. So what I decided to do was take some of the paint splatters from the rub-on kit or rub-on piece from the kit, and I'm just adhering them down, rubbing them, using the rub-on to put them on here. And you guys, every time I use rub-ons, I am reminded of how amazing rub-ons are I wish more companies did rub-ons. I love that these are in the kit every month. They are so great because it is completely flat, almost as if it was printed on your card or your paper. So I'm using it here, but they are great for in a journal. They are great for even on top of photos. They are just amazing. I added a chipboard piece on there, and I decided that that is good to finish off that title card. And then I'm going to move on to this photo of my daughter and her boyfriend at the time in the back seat on our road trip. We did have more photos from that road trip, but they all either had her boyfriend displayed prominently or were me with my ex. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this photo of them in the car and just make a note about the day trip on a little tag. I decided that tag didn't really stand out that much, and so I added some of the washi tape from the kit to create a base to then have the tag go on top of. Now, I struggled with that tag a little bit. I thought it was going to have a sticky piece on the back, but it did not. I think because only the main die cut set did, not that die cut that was in the extra pack, so something to keep in mind. So I tried to peel the back off and it didn't work and it tore it, but that's okay. So what I did was I used one of the tags from the pattern paper and just cut that out and adhered it down instead, and then I'm going to just do my journaling on there about our day trip. I'm using a Uniball 1.38 pen. This is my current favorite gel pen, and I will link these in the description box below. I always link my favorite pens, but this is just my current go-to if you're looking for a new gel pen. I'm really enjoying these. I added some tiny attacher staples to finish that one off, and then I'm moving on to my journal card. At this point, I'm trying to decide what to use to create a journaling spot on that floral paper, and then I remembered that there are these huge tags in the kit. I guess they're not huge, but these tags in the kit, and they are perfect for adding on top of a 3x4 pattern paper to create your own journaling card. There were 2 of them in the kit, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the second one in the exact same way because I absolutely love how this card came out. I use the enamel dots usually to create a bullet point list. I like to do bullet point lists on most of my pocket page layouts. I like that as a way to collect micro stories. So as I said in the beginning of the process video portion of this video, I go back in my project life from the time period to collect the stories that I want to include in my daughter's album. And so I have a list on notes or on my notebook off to the side, and I'm just pulling from that to add onto this card and just using those enamel dots as bullet points. And I just love how that comes out. I love that as a way to collect these little micro stories and highlight the month. Really, the big stories from the month were the day trip to Syracuse and the college visit, but not a lot else happened. There was obviously her practicing driving, but that started in January. And this is probably like the first month that I've been doing these monthly recaps that there wasn't so much to include, and I actually really enjoyed it. So moving back to this card, when I put 2 3x4 cards side by side to include them in a 4x6 pocket, sometimes I like to include some embellishments that kind of overlap that where they meet, because I'm taking advantage of the fact that this is in fact in a 4x6 pocket. So I trimmed down this little flag here to include an embellishment, and I paired it with a chipboard and just put it across that little intersection and had that be how to tie those cards together and kind of break up that line. Now I'm moving on to this photo of my daughter with her cousins. I'm just trying to think about how I want to embellish it, looking through the chipboard pieces. And I chose one of the circle chipboards that just looked really nice with the plain black and white, because I have the black and white on the title card and there's also a black and white background on that heart card. I just like bringing those pops of black and white throughout the spread to balance out all the color. I'm slipping everything into the pockets. I ended up having to trim this photo down a little bit because when you print photos, like, it's never perfect, right? You always have to trim them to fit the page protector perfectly. And when I slip everything in the pockets, this is when I'm doing kind of like a final audit of my spread to decide, do I like where everything is? Do I like the balance of the spread? Does everything fit together and coordinate? Do I have all my stories told? And I was happy with how this one came out. Here's a look at that completed spread. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.